Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Estate PowerCast. It's the new informed, new real estate podcast. It's the Team Powerhouse podcast. It is not the PowerCast anymore. It's Eric Vasquez on your far right. It's David Lamel here. It's the Team Powerhouse podcast. Welcome to our show. We are so excited to be a part of your lives every week. Tuesday, 5 p.m. Where else would you be? What else would you be doing?
Don't ask me, I got a Mentos in my mouth.
Got a Mentos. Mentos are yummy.
These are good.
They're pretty yummy stuff. It's always a good chew.
Was it tropical?
Tropical fruit.
It's freaking good.
Make sure to catch us every week. Watch us on all the social media platforms. Make sure to get to know them, and whatever's best for you, it's great for us. Go to YouTube, type in Team Powerhouse Real Estate. Go to Spotify if you're in the car on the ride home. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Go to Rumble, another huge podcast platform. Facebook, of course, where you're watching us now, and Instagram. We appreciate you guys every week. And of course, our 20,000 followers on TikTok, thank you so much for being here. And we love and appreciate every time you're watching us and the comments and the ideas you have for our show. It's amazing, 20,000 people on TikTok following us. That's crazy. So today's show, you got Eric and I talking to you about, did you know? Many things in this business that may come up that you may or may not know about that we're going to go over today. And if you have any questions or ideas, we'd be happy to get involved with you on those as well. So,
ideas for a podcast would be great.
Ideas for a podcast
For us to talk about, or contests that I can beat you at, for sure.
You
I'm
are
totally open to that.
You are a great contestant. You are a great competitive.
No, I'm gonna edit it, okay? Because one of the last few times we had a contest,
Yes,
you accused me of cheating.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And in today's news,
so let's talk about the real estate market for a quick minute because that's what everybody wants to know about. What's going on in the real estate market? We are now in the spring market. Kaboom! This market is already on fire. I know that our team has the amount of listing appointments we've had, the listings coming up and preparing for within this team is pretty amazing because where we were in 2023 versus today, we've already quadrupled where we are just in the first month. The agents in this team are all working with 3 and 4 buyers and have now set up appointments for listings. I know you have one. I know Shannon has one. I know, I believe Charles is working on one. I'm working on one. Guys, the properties are starting to come on the market. Get ready. If you're a buyer out there, you want to get qualified, you want to be ready. The rates have come down. They're looking at a forecast in the next 6 months to 9 months where the interest rates could be even entering into the 5s. But, very important to know, as that interest rate begins to drop, the housing prices will begin to climb even more than where they are now. So it's important to make sure you're out there shopping, get your agent out with you, get qualified, making sure your W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements are all in hand. Make sure you have a great lender. That's our job as your realtor, to introduce you to somebody who's excellent, somebody that we know and trust, someone who can respond to your phone. You should be on a cell phone basis with your lender, in our opinion. Calling, texting, emailing, it should be very well communication across the board. Would you agree?
mm-hmm.
So when it
Even
comes,
better if they can give you some Mentos.
even better if they give you some Mentos, absolutely. No, but it's important to be qualified today, and it's important to be ready to go. Homes starting to trickle on the market. The inventory is actually growing quickly, but also going off the market quickly. We listed a house in Meriden. You listed a house. I listed one. You listed one in Meriden. And under contract. How fast was your property under contract?
3 days.
Yeah.
And it could have been 2. But
Right. Exactly.
It's like, okay, well, we're gonna make a decision tomorrow, so,
Yep.
you know.
So you're looking at 2-3 days on average in a market, and the property looks pretty decent. So you got to be ready. Make sure that you are hunting. If you're not qualified yet, do not look at the properties in the market because emotionally and psychologically, you'll be disappointed. You will not get the house you want because you're not prepared to go and buy. Wait till you're qualified and then make the decision to make the next step in getting yourself on a property search watch by your agent Eric's gonna set you up on a property search based on your wants and needs criteria, towns of interest, prices, bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. Keep your options open. Try and put in as many towns as possible as options. Don't limit yourself to one or two towns. It'll be very difficult for you, A, number one, to find homes for sale, and B, it's also gonna limit you with the amount of competition that you're gonna be fighting against. Because if you can only find your house, look for a house in one or two towns, your chances of getting that house is gonna be very small because the amount of buyers shopping is very big. And right now, there are less shoppers for houses shopping right now than there will be in the next 30 days, and then 60 days, and 90 days. Let me go back and make sure you understand. Right now, a great time to buy. You have less competitors against other homes you're looking for. Every 30 days, I will guarantee you an increased amount of buyers shopping for homes. Yes, more homes will come on the market, but your competition is going to become tougher and meaner and more affordable. They can afford more than you can. So keep your ideas here and be aggressive about going out there and doing it, but make sure you're qualified first. That's a good, would you say it's pretty good stuff to say and end it like that?
That's it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. All right, so did you know are some things that Eric and I are going to go over with you about what's going on in the market, maybe some things about real estate, maybe things that are not real estate related. It could be.
Mostly, yeah. A little quirks
Oh,
about.
we got a question out there.
Jess Mallory said, "Hi Dave, it's Jess watching from VT."
Hey, Jess, so good to have you here watching the
VT?
show. Vermont.
Is that Vermont
Yes.
or Virginia Tech?
Now Vermont.
Okay.
They sold their house in Hamden and bought a beautiful house with a beautiful, I mean, he sends me photos of this. I think they're on a lake. Beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. I
In
mean,
Vermont?
yeah.
Did you know?
Did
This
you-
is not even on my sheet, but did you know that there's no state in the country that gets more snow than Vermont?
Jess, did you know that before going to Vermont, more snow than any state in the United States? I had no idea.
You sold their house here?
Yeah, in Hamden.
Okay.
Um,
And did you inform them that when they were moving to Vermont, they might want to get a plow or a snowblower or anything?
As a matter of fact, they moved closer to be with their kids and the grandkids, so
Mhm.
it worked out really well for them. They're so happy.
Hope they like snow.
They love snow. They enjoy the beautiful winter scene, and it also goes in Vermont in the spring and summer. It's beautiful there too. A lot of green pastures, a lot of nice places to go hiking and everything else. Snowmobiling now. All right, so Eric, you want to go first?
Sure.
All right,
I'm going to present this one as a question for you, though.
all right, yes.
So, what percentage of Americans, okay, believe they have experienced paranormal activity in their home?
Ooh, I got that one.
What do you mean you got
I
that?
had that same question.
Do you?
Yep,
Okay.
so I know the
We may
answer.
have pulled up the same sheets.
We-
I try not to.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Cross
ahead.
reference. So the answer to that question is 1 in 10.
No.
Yeah.
No.
1 in 10, what's the question you asked?
So over here I have, the New York Times reports that as much as 44% of U.S. Americans, it says U.S. Americans, like there's a difference,
Yeah.
believe they have experienced paranormal activity in their home.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I have, did you know that 1 in 10 Americans sell their homes due to paranormal activity?
Oh, well, they sell their homes due to paranormal. That's different.
Okay, so 44% are saying,
Believe that they've experienced something in their house.
very
Some
interesting.
sort of paranormal.
So I did,
That's almost half.
that's almost half.
That's a lot.
Well, I'm going to lay up that one there and go, did you know that 1 in 10 Americans sell their home due to paranormal activity? And many people stated they thought their house was haunted before they bought it. Don't worry if you don't have a gift for the supernatural because the state disclosure law says, the state disclosure laws may require that the agents disclose spirit residents and hauntings to potential buyers. A survey conducted by Cinch, 1 in 10 Americans have sold their homes due to paranormal experience. Half of these encounters occurred in homes with 2 floors. So that the house with 2 floors tend to have,
That makes sense.
More-
Because
double the amount of
most
space.
don't like ranch houses.
is that right?
I don't know.
Did I tell you the story about the
Ranch
house?
house is 1 floor.
Did I ever tell that story about the house that was in a ranch? It was in a ranch house, and with clients in the basement. Now, if these clients are watching this show, it makes it more exciting. We're in a house. I won't tell you what town it was in. We are in the basement. Now, the house had no power. We had to walk around our flashlights. Step 1. go into this ranch house, and we go to the basement. We have flashlights walking around, and it's an older basement, maybe
Then we get
70s.
Footsteps upstairs.
We hear people open a door, walk through. Few people walking through, and I'm yelling, "Hello, hello!" letting them know we're here, not to scare anybody. And I walk up the stairs from the basement to the main floor, and nobody's there.
Any
No.
cars out front?
No cars out front. I walk out to the front door, no cars, no people, nothing. Crazy experience.
Woo.
They decided not to buy that house. You're next.
All right. A study by an unnamed website that you can look at homes found that houses with charcoal or black front doors sell for $6,271 more than other houses.
Very interesting. Black doors or charcoal?
Yep.
Now, would that be charcoal like as in the heating system or charcoal
No,
as in like
charcoal
fire?
color, black.
Oh, charcoal. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody paint your doors
Black or charcoal. That's pretty cool. It's a
Yeah.
very pretty look though, especially on a house like a gray or a white or, it's a very clean look to it. I like
And
that.
that's a cheap hack, because it's like you paint your door.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great idea.
I mean, God forbid it doesn't match the shutters anymore, you know?
Facts.
The green shutters on a black door, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really care, but
I'm trying to wonder my house. We have like this maroon, purpley color with a tan house. I'm not even sure what
does
color
it
the
match your shutters though?
The door is white, and the shutters, I don't know, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that a black door would go, but it actually could because black goes with everything.
When you're ready to sell.
When I'm
First
ready,
off, give me a call.
I will definitely call.
And then second, paint your door black.
We'll paint the door black.
All right, go ahead. Did you know what?
Did you know that 50% of millennial investors choose to invest in real estate?
So half of millennial investors. And that's
Half of
millennials
millennial
are
investors-
1965 through what?
Yeah.
You didn't write it down?
I did. It's on a different sheet though.
Oh,
That's
Did you bring that sheet with
no.
you?
The millennials are 81 to 96.
81 and 96.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
say 81 and 96.
You-
Okay.
So half of the people born between 81 and 96 are
Real estate investors.
yes, investors or buying to be investors. Very interesting. You're up next, bud.
All right, you ever heard of Pretty Boy Floyd?
The boxer?
No. So
No.
Pretty Boy Floyd, Charles Floyd was a Depression-era gangster who won over the public by destroying mortgage documents when he robbed banks.
No kidding.
Yes. Many people never had to pay off their properties after he swept through town.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So not only robbed the bank,
Saved a lot of
but
people a lot of
messed
money.
up all those mortgage documents, and not giving anybody ideas out there. New Res. You happen to go to New Res.
That would help me out
You
also,
know?
by the way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just saying. You know.
So you're saying to me basically if that building was to kind of just hypothetically
I
speaking.
think now they this was Depression era.
Yeah, probably
so
don't have
they
the
didn't
cloud.
have anything electronic and digital and stuff like that. So
Right.
it probably wouldn't work now.
That probably wouldn't work now.
Yeah.
That's a good idea though. Or not, maybe not a good idea.
I should have brought that. I
Yes.
should have bought during the Depression.
Could you imagine what the
Yeah.
houses were today? Holy, although the houses were built different too.
They
A
were.
couple of sticks, some leaves. Did you know over 17 million Americans spend half their income on rent? That's not a good investment. And it's important to think about this if you are renting. And by the way, how many clients for the last 10 years I've been working with that were renters for 10 years or longer, and how much money they spent on rent, and now their rent prices are going bananas. You're
Well,
looking at
10 years
rents,
renting and nothing to show for it.
nothing to show for it. If you were spending $1,000 a month, that would be $12,000 a year, and over 10 years, $120,000. That's at $1,000 a month in 10 years. Who pays $1,000 a month? The average person renting pie today is in the ballpark of $2,500 a month on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Easily more than $2,000 for sure. Put that in the hat. Think about what you're paying for rent. Make sure you're working on your credit. And by the way, speaking of credit, Eric, did you know that you can buy a house with a credit score of 580?
Mhm.
Did you know? Credit is important. Build a credit. In between 580 and maybe 720, you're all in the same ballpark as far as being able to buy a house. the money you're putting down, yada, yada, yada. So if you have Mets credit, not phenomenal, you can buy a house. Questions are not just about the credit, it's the debt and your income, and these three pieces come together, and we can find out for you if you can buy a home. Do not feel that you have to rent forever, and don't make renting something that you're doing. Well, in a few years from now, I'm probably gonna move to Florida. Well, for the next few years, you're gonna spend $50,000, $60,000 easily on rent. If you buy a house today, that money is gonna go into your equity of your house. You can sell your house in maybe 5 years and make $100,000. Great place to be. All right, Eric, you're next.
So this one's titled The Man Who Owns the Moon. So Dennis Hope read the international treaties about ownership of the moon and discovered a loophole. In the agreements, it says that no country can claim ownership of extraterrestrial territory, right? So you can't claim owning a planet or a star or anything like that.
Oh, it's interesting.
But it says nothing about individual ownership.
Huh.
So what he did was he wrote the United Nations to inform them that he had officially claimed the lunar landscape, or otherwise known as the moon,
Wow.
okay? He invited them to challenge his claim. They never did. They never got back to him because they're like, come on, dude. Okay, since doing that, he has since made $12 million by selling acres on the moon, okay?
Brilliant.
For $20 to $30 each.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he also claimed the rest of the solar system and currently is selling Pluto for $250,000.
The crazy part is that people are actually paying money for that and thinking they're actually going to have a chance to have a piece of it. Later on, when they find out that they don't have bupkis to show for it, mom's word, right? Bupkis. That'll be interesting. How about there's nothing you can buy a star. You can name a star for
Can I tell
somebody.
you something, though?
Yes.
3 former U.S. presidents have purchased lunar property.
Really?
Yep.
From the same guy?
I don't know if it's from the same guy, but
So you could have multiple agents working in the solar system.
you could buy real estate next to either George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, or Jimmy Carter.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a piece of property I would like to own. I'm gonna have to make a phone call.
Yeah. Make that call.
If you're out there and you have any questions while watching the show, for making you laugh, or you're learning something new, please let us know. We love hearing from you. Just like Jess Mallory did earlier on this evening. Love you, Jess. All right. 34%. Did you know 34% of buyers were first-time home buyers since beginning of 2021? NAR showed that the typical age of a first-time home buyer was 33 years old. That's pretty wild. Used to be back in the day, growing up, you bought a house a little earlier in life, or you probably, I mean, actually, you're from New York, so it's a little different, because in New York, you do a lot of renting in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you buy your first house? Is that in Cheshire?
No.
Where's your
Long
first
Island.
place? Long Island.
Yeah, early 30s.
Early 30s.
Early to mid 30s, yeah.
My wife and I bought our first place. I was 28 years old, a condo. So I think it was earlier back in our days, when you were in your 20s and early 30s, you definitely had purchased a home by then, most of the time, because it was the first place to kind of plant your roots and get out of mom and dad's house. Today, more people are staying in mom and dad's house because they either have to or they have to.
Well, they're saving.
Right.
So check this out.
Yes.
Did
As
you
he-
know?
Choking on a pimento.
Warren Buffett, who's the 5th richest man in the world,
I did not know that already.
lives in a house he purchased for $31,500 in the 1950s.
Wow.
Still in that house.
That's pretty cool. Hey, listen, you know, it's not about the size of the house. It's about what makes you feel inside the house that's comfort, you know? And who knows what kind of house he owns for that $31,000 back in the day either.
Yeah, it might have been a nice house.
Could have been McMansion. What year was this?
In the 50s is when he bought it for $31,500.
31.5. My parents bought their first home in 1973, and they paid $100,000 for a, I want to say, it was on a slab in Westbrook, on Parker Lane. It was, I think, a 3-bedroom, technically speaking, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And they turned like a little family room into a bedroom for me when I was a kid. But yeah, that's interesting. So that house must have been big. 25,000 in 70s. And he paid 30,000 in the 50s. I bet you it's a pretty big house.
Oh, you were gonna curse.
Yeah.
You were gonna cuss.
Almost let it out. Eric, did you know that 44% of millennials
Yes, I did.
would buy a home based just on the listing photos?
44% would, just based on the photos.
Yes. So what is that saying to you, home sellers? Number one, you want to have a realtor using professional photography on your home. Number two, you want to make sure your home looks and feels amazing from the photos. We need to make sure that it's cleaned, its countertops are empty, all the extra things in the house that you don't need.
Things,
I don't want to,
tchotchkes.
tchotchkes, furniture that is probably from the 70s or 80s that really needs to get rid of. It's a good time to start cleaning things out. We got to make sure we give more space to the house so it looks and feels larger. You're up, buddy.
Just so you know, I would not let my clients put an offer on a house that we didn't see.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say they would put an offer on a house based they didn't see, but
They would buy a house based on the pictures.
based on the pictures, make them want to buy that house. Yeah, definitely. Facts.
All right. In 1997, did you know? In 1997,
I graduated college.
Pepsi and Fox, the channel,
Yep.
built a perfect replica of the Simpsons home
Oh,
as a
yeah.
promotional giveaway.
I watched The Simpsons, by the way, a lot in college. I went to school where? Where were The Simpsons located?
Were they in Western New England?
Springfield, Massachusetts. I went to school at Western New England Today University in Springfield, Mass, where The Simpsons story begins and ends. Very interesting.
Well, so, did you run into Bart or Lisa or any of them?
One of my roommates would do Bart very well, but no, I never met her. Actually, I actually ran into Bart and Homer at Barker Animation. They have a nice little thing over there in Cheshire. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Did you know that staged homes sell 3 times faster? 85% of real estate agents report that staged homes sell 3 times faster than non-staged properties because it looks and feels like what every buyer wants. A more modern, cleaner, efficient look to it.
Well,
We've done several homes we had staging. We had the staging company, the young ladies who came in here from.
yes, we did.
But we should get them back in here. Great girls, mom and daughter team, who were phenomenal, and they're great at what they do. We should get them back on the show. I just drew a blank on the name. Anybody out there with questions
You
or?
gonna say something?
No? Okay. Instagram, Facebook, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Eric, you're up, buddy.
All right, did you know that the Italian
properties.
city of Madeira has the oldest continuously inhabited houses in the world,
No, I did not know that.
dating over 9,000 years?
So they're made from mud.
I wouldn't say they're made from stone, perhaps.
Stone, for sure, stone.
Some stone, yeah, but I mean, a brick house is stone,
That is true.
you know?
Madeira, Italy.
Madeira, Italy.
9,000 year, holy moly.
9,000, can you imagine trying to sell a 9,000-year-old house?
Good foundation, I bet you.
Ah,
Yeah, 9,000.
How much time is left on it, though?
Oh,
You know,
lots
a
of,
foundation like this, what, 30, 40,000 years?
yeah, seriously.
You know?
That's pretty
It's
wild.
only 9,000 years old. It's only a quarter of the way through its life.
That's crazy. 9,000 years.
9,000 years.
9,000 years. What year are we in?
2024?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if that was a quiz or something.
Well, 9,000 years ago. We're talking about was it BC?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, but that was before there were sales. Well, that leads to my next question, so go ahead.
Did you know that Gen X, born between 1966 and 1980, and millennials were born 1981 to 96, want large yards? So Gen X and millennials want large yards when looking for a home. Did you know?
But
Nice.
Do they get them?
That's a great question. And what is a large yard to one person versus another?
That's subjective.
Very
You
subjective,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah. And if you're in Connecticut and you wanna buy in Meriden, you might not get a big yard,
That's true.
you know?
But if you're
You wanna buy
coming-
in Durham if you want a big yard.
True, but you might be coming from New York, in the city where you rented, a big yard might be exactly what Meriden has to offer you, because,
Yeah, that's what I had in Long Island.
right?
I had a Meriden type yard in Long Island.
You had space, you had privacy, you might even have some woods behind you. It's all subjective, and also how a house is placed on the property will depend how big the yard feels. All right, my friend, you're up.
The world's first recorded real estate transaction occurred around 3000 BC
What?
in Sumer, which is in Iraq. So 3000 BC is the first time there was actually a transaction. Yes.
Were there paper back then, actually, 3000 BC? Maybe that's
Uh,
stone.
uh,
Maybe tablets.
Tablets, not iPads.
I don't know.
Not that kind of tablet.
That's-
Yeah,
Was it what time was Moses making the sale?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, tablets. It wasn't the Ten Commandments tablets. It was tablets that he just, was like,
Well, I know they didn't have electronic signatures
This
back
is
then.
true.
So you
Oh my
actually
God.
had to carry the stones over for them to chip their signature into it.
what movie is that where they do like a lot of that? You actually are regular about this. Movies, the actors that they have. Hey, how you doing? And they have, the guys from what movie was that where they did like the BC that? Oh, help me out over here.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. I just like him floundering. I want to watch him flounder, trying to remember.
Do you remember back in the day?
No,
Help me out over here. What was
No.
that movie?
no. Are you talking about where Moses went up and had the tablets?
Before something about the world.
History of the World,
History-
Part 2.
Yes.
Yes.
History of the World Part 2.
No, Part 1,
Part 1.
because there was no Part 2.
That's right. There wasn't
Yes.
Part 2.
Which suggested, I mean, with the title, it suggested that there was going to be a Part 2, but there wasn't.
Facts. And what year did that take place?
What did what take place?
History of the World Part 1.
The movie?
In the movie.
I mean, what year?
In
did
the
it take
movie,
place?
what year was it taking place?
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't, but I figured you
okay.
would. I figured for sure.
Well, I mean, but it was about Moses, so it was around the time Moses was.
Yes. 5,000
But
years
that's
ago.
that's a hilarious scene.
It's a very
You know
funny
what I'm
scene.
talking about?
There's a handful of them.
No, but I'm talking about the one where he comes off the mountain with the tablets.
Tell everybody. It's hilarious, actually. He has 3
He has
tablets.
3 tablets, and then he drops, but he starts with, I come to you with these 15, and then he drops a tablet, and he changes it to 10.
Yeah,
10
that's right.
commandments.
Very funny.
Very
My
funny.
buddy Chris Glenn actually made sure I watched that movie. We watched that movie together. Very cute, very cute, funny
Well, we
movie.
were talking about, at the team meeting, remember last week? We were
Yes.
talking about movies, and I put out a movie that was kind of hot and cold in the room. You know which one I'm talking about?
Remind me which movie it was.
Nacho Libre?
Nacho Libre. I never saw that. I have
I
done.
think the movie's freaking hilarious.
Nacho
You've seen
Libre.
it, right?
Did you really? I gotta
Yes.
see Nacho Libre.
Yes.
Maybe we'll make
It's
that
a
a
must-see.
movie night. Nacho Libre. All right, Nacho Libre. If you've seen that, oh, we got somebody out there.
Just Mallory said, did you know that Team Powerhouse sold my CT home in a week? Thanks, Dave, living the dream.
Hey, Jess. Love you, buddy. That was a great sale, great property. And you know why it sold so quickly, though, to be fair to Jess? Because he listened, he trusted, and he did exactly what he needed to do to make that house beautiful inside and make it sell for top dollar, breaking records. It was an amazing experience for both Linda and Jess and myself working together. Jess was a hustler. He was outside on ladders, paint. This guy was all over the
I
place.
remember you telling me. about
Right?
it, Yeah.
The guy he was unbelievable.
He worked his tail off.
Worked his tail off on
Yeah.
that house. All compliments to you, Jess. Teamwork. All right, Eric, I got another one for you. Did you know 67% of buyers want a detached home?
Detached home?
A detached home. The-
Detached from what? It's gotta be attached to the earth. So
I'm
what's
ho-
it detached from?
The majority of home buyers do not want neighbors. A report by the
Oh.
National Association of Home Builders revealed that 67% of buyers are interested in a single-family living detached home, probably versus a condo, where it was
Gotcha.
attached, right? 15% of buyers would like a townhouse, and 8% want to buy a multi-family condo. I'm not even sure that exists. I think multi-family home is what they meant to say, but that might have changed a little bit too. Speaking of multi-families, the multi-family market is a great market to be looking right now, by the way. I was out there with my friend, my client, and a great guy, his name is Pablo. We went out shopping for multi-families, and I was amazed as to how many properties are available between 2 and 3 family homes. In the ballpark, you're looking between 350 and 450, but really great quality properties. And you have to kind of, again, you got to open up the doors and look deep because there are a lot of things out there. Great time to invest in a multifamily. Of course, Eric, Shannon, Charlesy, Gary, Balvin, Gene. Who else? Am I missing somebody? Faustino, myself, would all love to be part of that experience for you. All right, so
Did
your
you know
turn.
The most expensive home ever sold was the one, I guess it's got a name too,
Wow.
in Bel Air, California,
Bel Air.
for $238 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of scrajol right there.
Skrazol.
Scrajol.
Skrazol.
Yeah.
Do we know?
Scrajol.
Did they tell you whose house it was? Was it like a famous person?
No, didn't say.
Very interesting.
It's somebody who had a nice house, that's for sure.
I would say 100%. Did you know that there are myths that don't boost your home in value? Such as over-the-top landscaping, water features, bridges, I almost said pierogi, pergolas, pergola, like, doesn't increase value of your house if you have a pergola outside.
What's a pergola?
Pergola is like, that looks like when you get married, and it's got the, pergola outside where it's got like where the grapes would grow over the top of it.
Okay.
So pergolas, swimming pools do not make your home more valuable. But during the pandemic it did, make it more attractive and more, it's
Yeah, I mean,
a
there's-
cross-border on those ones here, but they're saying it
So having these features don't translate
to more
into
value.
value
Yes.
when you're selling it,
Correct.
but it is a feature or attractive to
If
some folks that
but the
somebody
percent,
wants that pergola.
yes.
For the pool.
Hot tubs, saunas,
I don't think anything's become more popular than pools since COVID.
100% agree with you, 100%. And they're also saying over here, what does not make your house more desirable or valuable is white appliances and or solar panels. Does not make your house more valuable. And it's funny because so many people get this sales pitch from solar panel companies. Oh, it'll make your house worth more money, and put solar panels in your house. And then they decide to sell their house 6 months later. Not a good idea.
May not be worth more money, but it's definitely appealing to the people who are buying it. Sometimes,
If
if it's a good system, it's a good plan. If you're not, if you're making some scrajol from the electricity coming in.
So, and I'm happy you mentioned that, but the problem with that is, the percentages of the people making the skrazol is so
You
small.
cannot pronounce that word.
Skrazol,
No,
is that
scrajol,
skrazol?
yeah.
So the amount of people making the skrazol is very small because you have to be getting like 90+% of your home being covered. And unfortunately, when they come into your house, you're at 40 or 50%, and they're like, yeah, let's put solar panels in your house, yada, yada. We'll talk about this later, solar panels. It can be very profitable for you as a seller if, as Eric mentioned, that you've got good usage, a small payment, or maybe no payment on it.
Go ahead.
You're next, buddy.
I am?
You are. Dum, 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 dum.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna go right to this one. The smallest house in New York City, known as the smallest house in the world,
Wow.
measures just 9.5 feet wide.
Wow. It's hard to buy furniture for this
That's-
house.
I think that's wider than this room here. From
Uh,
that wall to that wall is probably 10, 11. So it's,
probably sure, yeah. Wow. Is that what they call, what do they call those houses you can buy now that they're small homes or something? They call them, you, help me out, Dane. You know the show I'm talking about, right? They have these,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
they have that show, they have the small homes, or you can buy, Something where the house moves.
Well, I've seen, where they convert a shipping container
Yes.
to a house.
Yep.
Yes,
Or a shed,
yeah.
and yada yada yada. That's interesting. 9 feet.
9.5 feet wide.
How about long? How long was it?
Well, it doesn't say.
So it
Could
could have been.
research that?
Could have been 2,000 feet long.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite that long either.
All right. Easy. Did you know there are easy ways to add equity to your home? Value. One of the things we talk about, very simple and easy, is curb appeal, making it more attractive to the buyers. So when they roll up on your house, they go, wow, what beautiful landscaping. You don't have to go crazy, don't go over the top, make it nice and pretty. Grass is cut, nice and clean, leaves are gone, gutters are empty, power wash the house, nice curb appeal. 2, as everybody knows, a kitchen upgrade is definitely a way to add value to your house. Look into this program called Real Vitalize. Coldwell Banker agents have a product that is unbelievable, and it gives you as a seller the opportunity to get your home renovated, updated, and ready for sale. No money out of pocket up front. You pay at the end of closing from the equity in your home, getting you to sell your house for way more money, for sure. Figure every dollar you put in, you get 3 or 4 back. And number 2, will sell for more money and sell faster, making happier buyers, happier sellers, and an amazing experience. Real Vitalize, Coldwell Banker, unbelievable. If you think about selling your house, you need to speak to a team Powerhouse real estate agent today or a Coldwell Banker realtor. All right, Eric, I got a couple more upgrades for you as I went off and on that one. Bathroom upgrades, fresh paint, floor plan modification, meaning that we're gonna get rid of stuff in the house to make it less cluttered. Sometimes we have too much furniture in a house because it's,
Is that a good translation? Because that's not what it sounds like.
well, it's basically when you do a whole floor plan modification, it's not to actually open walls up, but giving a house, sometimes a small home, feels cluttered because of all the different pieces of furniture. They have end tables and coffee tables, and
It's a small home.
it is a small home. But you want to eliminate a majority of that stuff there so you can make it very easy to move around. All right, buddy, you're next.
Okay, check this one out.
Checking it out.
You know the Empire State Building in New York?
Yes.
You know, Thane? You know the Empire State Building in New York? Okay, do you know it has its own zip code?
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It has its own zip code. Like, it doesn't share a zip code with any other streets or business or structure or anything like that. It's got its very own dedicated zip code.
That's pretty cool. What's the zip code? Does it tell you?
The one I know.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna let you finish this off. If you have another one.
Oh, I've got a couple.
All right. What do you got for me, Eric?
Okay, the Walt Disney Company
Yes.
owns the second largest amount of private real estate in the United States.
No kidding.
Yep, after who? Who owns the most land in this country privately, not government?
So if I said like
Private.
Warren Buffett, because you mentioned his name
That's
before.
private, but that would be a private ownership.
So you want a public ownership? Or you say,
No,
I'm sorry,
private ownership,
So-
meaning it's not owned by,
university?
a school, a government entity.
Could it-
Like Indian reservations?
Ooh, good,
No.
that was a good answer. Could it be a university, a college?
No.
No. So ask the question one more time for everybody again.
The Walt Disney Company owns the second largest amount of private real estate in the United States after this
Can
entity.
Can it be a country that owns?
It's not a country.
So not like China.
Nope.
It's
Okay.
like another company? Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a company,
Yeah,
but,
I know,
yeah.
yeah.
Thane thinks he knows what it
I
is.
think, I don't know.
Go ahead, thing.
Yeah,
Yell
come
it
on.
out.
I don't wanna guess.
Nah, you
Why?
can't get.
Is it like,
No.
a resort or something?
Nope.
Oh, that's a
Or
good.
something like Disney?
No. Nothing like Disney. No.
NASCAR.
No. NASCAR.
I don't know. Is it
You
the,
wanna know?
the NFL?
No. You wanna know who owns the most
I do want to know.
privately in
Yes.
the United States?
Oh,
The Catholic Church.
oh.
That would make a lot of sense. Because every building they own.
But cemetery lots, I mean, how many times, I mean, you and I, I've done like maps, looking at maps of properties, and somebody's buying a house, and then there's like a huge, humongous lot across the street, and I tap it, and it's owned by the Catholic Cemeteries Association, or whatever it's called, you know what I mean?
That's very
So,
interesting.
yeah, they own the most land privately,
Wow.
yes.
Number one, and
And
number
number
two,
two is Disney.
Disney. Wow. I think Disney's making a lot of money.
Check this one out. The Guinness World Record for the longest mortgage goes to a British couple who took out a 1,000-year mortgage in 2012 for their farmhouse.
Would it be anybody into the royal family?
No.
1,000-year mortgage?
Mm-hmm.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a hold of that mortgage company and maybe get some business for them. Because,
Well, so I mean, if you averaged it out over 1,000 years,
yes,
I
So the next
well,
10
the amortization table for that thing must be like this.
not to mention how many generations are responsible for paying for it. What happens,
Yeah,
I mean, and how much money was that for?
it doesn't say. It doesn't say, but we can look that up and have
And it's
that.
for
Dave's
next
gonna
week.
do that for you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Next week on the podcast, he's gonna tell you exactly.
We have a great month of visitors, by the way, coming up on the show. I can't wait. I mean, it's gonna be an amazing month. February, we are completely slammed with visitors coming on the show. Pretty amazing stuff. Eric, I don't know if you have access to that information on your Tuesday schedule invite, or Thane, actually, you have the invite on your phone, right? Could you pull that up for me? You guys, we
Here's
have
a
an,
question for you.
oh, another
What
question.
country? Last one.
Yes.
Last one, because we're at 43 already.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Talk about fun, huh?
Fun, baby.
All right. What country? This is an easy one. Thane. Concentration, please. You can have your attention, please. Okay. This country has the largest number of real estate agents with over 2 million licensed professionals. What country?
Well, it has to be a large country. 2 million, I'm gonna say,
Wow, it has to be a large country.
I'm gonna say
He
it's,
figured that out on his own.
I'm gonna say India. I'm gonna go to a couple different guesses.
Okay.
India, China. I'm not sure how much real estate is in USSR. Russia.
What country has the most real estate agent?
Actually-
real estate professionals.
United States.
You say it's United States. What do you say?
United States.
It is the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you started with
Because
India.
I was thinking, because I'm thinking about large countries for a moment at the
Yeah.
capital of, but you said 2 million realtors?
2 million.
Well, I think a lot of them live here in Connecticut. 27,000, but who's counting? All right, Thane, who is on our show next week? Because you've got the list in front of you for every Tuesday.
What's that?
I think next week's the 30th, maybe, some of that ball. What's the date today? We got a busy month coming up. I think we have to, actually, I know it's gonna be here. I believe it's our detailing guy. Am I right or am I wrong? Dum, dum, dum.
What's today's date?
It's our friend Anthony, is it Anthony?
I only have PowerCast.
Anthony Brown, when you pull it up and you look
I only have
inside.
PowerCast.
You didn't check the email. All right, help me out. I believe it's Anthony
And then
Brown.
the following Tuesday, a Nice Touch Auto Detailing.
That, okay, so that's next Tuesday or this one? I'm
No,
talking
that's
about?
the 30th.
That's the 30th. Who's coming up next week?
It's,
I'm pretty
like
sure.
I said, it just
Hold
says
on.
podcast.
Thane? Am I wrong? Am I right?
Monday,
Was it? No?
12:25 is the auto touch detailing.
It is. Anthony Brown next week?
6:30 on here.
I think we have Anthony Brown next
January-
week.
January 30th,
Is it Anthony Brown?
yeah. It's,
Anthony Brown from A Nice Touch Auto Detailing, an amazing guy, an amazing business.
So you sent me bad info?
It's possible. I'm not positive. I cannot,
Can you believe this?
I cannot confirm or deny that information at this given moment. Look on your Google calendar. That might be more accurate. Anthony Brown, A Nice Touch Auto Detailing, an amazing guy who does unbelievable work on cars. He's gonna be here to talk about all the new things he's doing to make your car look and feel beautiful. Not gonna miss a show. At this time of the show, we have our next part where we give away a tumbler to one of you special lucky guests and friends. And if you or somebody you know would like to bring themselves on the show, a business, we would love to have you on. Please reach out to us. In the meantime, Mr. Thane, if you can get that wheel and up and running and see who's going to win a tumbler on the PowerCast. I just did it again. On the Team Powerhouse podcast.
Hey, we need to do rehearsals.
Yeah, I know. Oops.
Joel YB333 on Instagram.
All right, Joel, congratulations. If you are out there and you know Joel, if you're watching, please make sure to reach out to us. Let us know your contact information so we can send out this beautiful tumbler for you. We appreciate all of you being part of the show. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, Spotify. You name it, we're there. We're excited to be a part of your lives. Eric Vasquez, 203-707-9077 for all your real estate needs. We can't wait to be part of your lives again next week. Have a great week, everybody.